We're getting closer and closer, guys, to the unveiling of the 2027 Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra. But in this video, we're going to talk about the Silverado because someone has a sneak peek of what the truck is going to look like. Oh yes, right there. You can see some of the schematics. Now, this right here is like a rendering, I believe. That looks like the front end of the Tahoe Suburbans. But let's go ahead and jump into the article. I'm actually going to read the one from Car and Driver because they actually have a nice write-up on this schematic. Next Gen 2027 Chevy Silverado revealed thanks to patent images. They can't get nothing by us, guys, by the way. The current generation Chevy Silverado has been on sale since the 2019 model year, and that means a complete overhaul is right around the corner. Our spy photographers already caught the revised truck testing in heavy camouflage earlier this year, and now we have discovered a patent that shows the 27 Silverado's new design in full. So here it is. It definitely has a big face for sure. Those headlights look huge. One thing that I saw earlier when I looked this up was how buff the truck looks in this schematic. So hopefully this truck does have a more buffer stance, kind of like what you see on like the ZR2 or even the Canyon actually has that standard wide body, but hopefully they give it a buffer stance overall. This hood even looks more buff, and this doesn't look to be the Trail Boss or ZR2 truck here, but potentially it could have a more aggressive hood as well. Down below you guys see, filed with the United States Patent and Trademark Office on December 9, the document shows the exterior styling of an unnamed truck, but all signs point to it being the 27 Silverado. The front end is completely different, with new headlights that look inspired by the units currently found on the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban SUVs, as well as the Chevy HD trucks. A then LED strip sits at the top like an eyebrow, while a C-shaped LED below hooks around the main headlight unit. The imposing grille remains wide and tall, with the Chevy badge sitting on a crossbar that bisects the headlights. So you guys can pretty much see on this first picture, this truck has very aggressive lines. The grille on this truck is what GM normally does, pretty bold. It's not as big as you would see on like a GMC, on like a Denali trim that is, but that hood looks so much more aggressive, and I'm really happy to see that. I was hoping to see a little bit more bolstering on these sides. Like, I'm gonna show you guys a picture really quickly here for the GMC Canyon, but this is definitely that design I was hoping they were gonna go for. Maybe for the GMC Sierra, they might do something like that. But for this truck here, it's not too bad. I'm pretty sure this is where the tow hooks are gonna go. Adaptive cruise control. Not a huge fan of the balance design. This just takes away, but luckily you can remove that if you just don't care about fuel economy. Now here's a side profile view again. The mirrors definitely look like a whole new design. The cabs are gonna be a carryover most likely. I'm sure some people like the idea of these fender flares. They're not as awkward as the ones now. I mean, they're not as circular, I would say, right? Maybe I'm thinking about the HDs. Maybe on the half tons they probably do look a little bit better, but the HDs are not as round as what you see here basically. No step on the side of the bed still. I was thinking they might have added that for the next redesign like the HDs, but nope. That's pretty much all I can see though. I think the headlights, they have a huge design. You can see that LED daytime running light, and then it's gonna have that C shape here just like the HDs do. But these do kind of resemble the Tahoe Suburban headlights. I didn't see it at first, but let's keep reading. The front bumper matches the look of the outgoing model with a chunky trapezoidal section in the middle, but the new one has a more chiseled appearance. I agree with that. That front bumper does resemble what you've already seen for like the 2022 plus refresh. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, and by the way, you have like this bump out here that gives it that more aggressive styling. Hopefully that's what they're going for with this truck, is more aggressive styling, even if it's not a ZR2 or Trail Boss. It says here, the hood is also more dramatically styled than before, with two large humps on either side of a depressed central section, implying the presence of a potent engine. Along the side, the fenders appear more pronounced, but it's hard to tell the exact shape they will take from these drawings. Ooh, look at those taillights. Those taillights are going to be controversial. I could already see it. They kind of look like the ones on the EV, and that's not a good thing. I don't really care for that design. But you guys see the steps. You have the cutouts here for the dual exhaust. Tailgate, are they revising the multi-flex tailgate? This looks to be a different design here. Looks to be 2 cameras right there. This definitely looks different. Looks like they're kind of going after like the Ford design, right? On this. I like this spoiler they've added. They've had this on the trucks from 2019, but that definitely has a nice look to it. At the rear, the taillights become more elongated, is that how you say that? With the top left edge jutting forward. Similar to the look seen on the Silverado EV. The bumper retains the integrated steps on the outer corners, while a trim piece seems to stretch across the tailgate where the Chevy badge lives. While this patent doesn't cover the cabin, we got a peek inside the new truck when our spy photographers snapped it in March. There appears to be a large screen that extends from behind the steering wheel towards the center of the dashboard, suggesting a layout similar to the 33-inch display found in several current Cadillacs. In terms of powertrains, some of the current powertrains, likely the turbocharged 4-cylinder and a Duramax diesel inline 6, will carry over with minor changes, but GM has also announced that it is developing a next-generation V8 engine for use in the trucks and full-size SUVs that will enter production in 2027. The next-generation Silverado should arrive for the 2027 model year, so we expect a full reveal at some point in 2026. One more time, I'm going to show you guys the side profile of the truck. So those taillights, they kind of have that Ford Lightning look to them. I'm going to show it to you really quickly here. Has a Ford Lightning look to it. I like the steps. I think the steps make it look more like a rugged truck for some reason. Even if it's just a base model work truck, it just has a nice look. And I wish they would have added one on the front of the bed, but we're not gonna see that most likely. You guys can see the spoiler better on this side profile too. That's always been a nice design. I'm glad that GM incorporated that on this cab, but I'm willing to bet you guys cab size is not gonna probably change on this truck. I can't see anything different on the cab. It looks like it's gonna be a carryover, and that's what Ford did. Ford, for the Super Duty, they just carried over the cab because the cabs are big enough, right? I mean, how much bigger, how much more can they really do? And it saves them money, obviously, if they don't have to redesign the cab. But yes, super excited to see what they're gonna do, because you guys saw their next generation V8 engine. At first I thought it was gonna say engines, because I thought there was gonna be 2 more V8s coming, potentially a hybrid version too, but we'll have to wait and see. So we should see something in 2026 for this truck. And we already have the laundry list of things that GM really has to do. The first thing on my list is obviously the bigger fuel tank. I think most people, whenever I read my comments, that's always a big one, especially if you've owned the trucks. My friend had a Ram 1500 with a 26-gallon fuel tank. And because he commuted like 100 miles one way to work, he traded the truck in to get one with a 33-gallon fuel tank, because he's like, dude, I can't take it. Like, this truck, it's just, I'm getting fuel like every couple days. So he was like, I just can't do this anymore. So he got the 33-gallon, he was a lot happier. So that's number one. Number two, obviously, people complain about the hard seats, so we don't have to go too much in detail with that. But I would say for the exterior, it's really hard to mess up a redesign on the truck, but it's very possible. The truck they have now is really nice. I like the Silverados. They have a great look, especially if you're looking at a Trail Boss or like a ZR2. Those are my favorite. But yeah, this is a step in the right direction for sure. I think that all they have to do is fix their powertrain issues, make the seats more comfortable for more people. Just go sit in a Ram truck. I like Ram seats because they're not too hard, they're not too soft. They're like right in the middle. Ford has too soft of seats, and GM is on the stiffer side, which I'm okay with. I'd rather it be stiff than soft. And they have to fix the 10-speed issues, and I've heard that even on the half tons they've had issues with the 10-speed transmission, and that's most likely going to be something they're gonna fix for this truck coming up. But I wanna hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this schematic of this truck? It looks more aggressive. If you look at the hood, if you look at just overall that front fender, it does look a little bit more aggressive. And hopefully, if this is just a standard truck, imagine what the ZR2 and the Trail Boss are gonna look like. I'm hoping to see a Baja truck come out. Maybe not when they reveal the truck, but maybe a year after they can bring out a true Baja ZR2X. I don't know. Just throwing something out there. It would be nice to see a competitor with the RHO and obviously the Raptor. The Raptor is still known to being the king, but I think the RHO has pretty much proven itself with that 540 horsepower Hurricane engine. I mean, it's just outgunned. And then again, we want to see a Raptor R and TRX competitor too, right? We want to see a hyper Baja truck too. So hopefully you have some great engines to pull from. I mean, GM has it all in their arsenal, but they're just being lazy as always. They're just very slow and very late to the party every time. And when they do show up though, it's always a good time though. You have to admit, they are late to the party, but they're always there to give you a good time. But I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting this channel. I'm excited to see what's to come because it's been a while now since we've seen a new truck from Chevy. They've done some refreshes back in 2022. The HD's got it in 2024. And now we're getting to see the new redesigned Silverado.